What's up, everybody? This is Alex from WMD back at you again, and this time we're going to be talking about auxiliary sends with the mixer. So we're going to be talking about how to use effects with the mixer, and to save space in my own system, I'm actually just going to be using pedals. So there's a lot of conversation about whether or not you need a certain module to use pedals, and as always, I always just say go for it, try it. Start with a little bit of gain and turn it up so you're not clipping that pedal, and then you might need a little bit of gain on the end. Performance Mixer is great for that because if you need extra gain, you can just run it into a channel. But here, I'm getting away with it just fine, just going straight out of the auxes into my pedals and back. So we're just going to play around. I'm going to show you a couple things that I like to do. This is going to help with transitions and just like momentary effects, just to give you some more colors to your sonic palette. So yeah, what I've got going on is I've got the Performance Mixer. I've got 5 channels running, so I've got the kick drum, clap, chimera, which is a tambourine, my crucible cymbal, and then my PDO voice here with phase displacement oscillator voice. Everything's being controlled by Metron and Volterra. So I'm using Volterra to send some information to Fracture to change up its sounds, and I'm using a second Volterra to control the 1 volt per octave input on the PDO. Next, I have both of my auxiliary sends on the Performance Mixer filled up. So I've got the output of auxiliary 1 running into the Protostar, then into the Empress Reverb, and back into the return. I've got the Empress Echo system on auxiliary number 2. So what I can do is I can switch between these two, and what I really like to do is do these things as momentary and kind of figure out when I'm going to use what effect and how I'm going to do it. So one really cool thing about the Protostar is that with its envelope follower, it's normal to the frequency, so you can create some really cool kind of swelchy background stuff just by running your drums into it. So just to show you what I mean, I'm going to play this guy. We'll turn off that reverb there, and we'll just turn her down for a second. So right now, I'll turn off all the aux sends, and this is what the drums sound like, right? And so now I'm just going to send a little bit of each drum into auxiliary 1. So we'll start with the kick drum. That's not really doing much. We'll turn up a little bit more, and you'll hear it just on that high end, right? It's just a little bit of that resonance. There we go. But when we're really going to hear it, we're going to move into the claps. And now we can change up our envelope speed, how fast this envelope's going to react. And we can change up the threshold of how quick it reacts to the volume. Turn down that resonance a bit. Now we're just getting that background noise. So we're hearing all the drums. And one thing about auxiliary sends that's cool is that if you've got the faders up, you're still going to hear the dry sound. And now we're going to hear the effect. So one thing you'll notice about the Performance Mixer is you've got pre and post switches. What are those? Those are pre or post fader switches, meaning you can send to the effect whether or not the fader is up, or you can send it only when the fader's up. So to show you what I mean, we'll just switch this clap to pre, and now we're just hearing the filter sound, right? So this is 100% wet of the filter sound. Now if I move it to post, we're not going to hear anything until I turn up the fader. And now we're hearing that dry sound plus the effect. This can be really useful if you just want to create like a crazy reverb swash and you don't really want to hear the instrument. And so one thing that you'll want to do with auxiliary sends is use that mix all the way up. So now you're just saying how much of that effect I'm hearing with the knob. So again, we can go to post here, bring our clap in, we'll turn my decay down, and now we'll just hear a little bit of that reverb in the background, and we're not getting 2 dry signals. If we just turn the mix all the way down, you're stacking 2 dry signals up on top of each other. So there's not really much reason to use any mix when you're on the auxiliary send. Just go 100% wet, and now you can decide how much is sent to that effect, how loud that effect's going to be with the send level, as well as the output level of the effect unit itself. So again, here's that filter sound. That's pretty cool. Like, we'll just do this real quick just to hear it again. Now if we just want to add a little bit of reverb, we can turn down the decay and turn this guy on. We can just turn down the effect, the output level of that effect, just to get a little bit of the background. Take the kick drum out of there and we get a real clean sound now. So this is a pretty unique effect. But that's not something I'm going to be doing all the time. Most of the time, if I'm doing this, I'm going to be rocking just that filter in the back like this, right? So now one of my favorite effects to do is the Reverb Blast. So that's all about a long decay and then just hitting the pedal momentarily. So I'm going to turn off all the sends real quick, turn on the pedal. Now we're not hearing anything until we send a level into this pedal. So I'm just going to flip this switch for one of these claps. And we'll turn up that output a little bit. All right, so now we got a pretty cool thing. So now I'm gonna change up my pattern here and we'll make a, there we go. Change up that kick just a little bit. And now every once in a while we can just toss some reverb in there. We can get a nice big swell. And so now it's all about just tuning our reverb to make it sound how we want to, right? I like that low end sound, so I'm going to turn up the lows a little bit more. All right, there we go. So how fast are we going? I'm going to go a little bit faster than this. One of the things I really like to do when I'm playing live sets is kind of rock out just my hi-hat or my Chimera sounds. And then every once in a while, I'm just going to toss a clap. And that just gives us a little bit of environment sound and kind of tells us that the clap's coming, right? We can change up the different sounds of the clap. And yeah, that's just a ton of fun right there. Again, we can turn off the send, we can be rocking, and then we can just hit it with reverb. So that's something I really like to do. All right, on the next one, we've got the echo system. So what was I doing with the delay? Well, I love this dotted quarter note sound. And so right now I've got it set to dotted quarter notes, and I'm sending quarter notes out of track 16 here. Let me actually send those. And that's now clocking my echo system via the control port, which is really nice that they let you do that. So Empress lets you do CV inputs, and that's really dope. All right, so now we're just going to throw this clap into here and see what it sounds like. Had it on the reverb setting. Let's put it on 2, and now let's listen to it. So that's another really fun way just to add a little bit of variety to your sound, right? Just like throwing a little bit of delay. And it turns into 16th notes almost with this dotted 8, which gives us a really cool texture. So one nice trick that I like to do with the Chimera or with my hi-hat sound is use the delay to fill out the rest of my 16th notes. So I've got these 8th notes going right now. Again, I'm on dotted quarter note on the echo system, and I'm just gonna switch to post. Whoops, gotta go down to 2, my bad. Now we can turn down the output a little bit. Maybe we'll shorten the decay. All right, so there we go. So now we'll turn that off. We'll listen to it. Turn down that feedback a little bit. So now we've just got that upbeat hi-hat, and now we'll turn on the delay again. So that's a cool trick just to get some 16th notes in the background without having to program anything. I mean, you've just got it on your delay right here. So you just turn the delay on and we're good to go. So something that I did in the intro was kind of a drop built out on all this. And we're just going to show you kind of what I was doing when we got there. So right now I've got the dotted quarter notes on the echo system. The hi-hat sound is coming through there, which is making our 16th note vibe there. I'm going to bring our bass line in, and I'm also going to send that and the clap both to the echo system. And I'm going to turn up the sends as we go, right? And as we turn up the clap, it's going to turn into like a 16th note roll for us. Turn up this feedback a little bit. And now I'll just turn those knobs both down, and we'll come in. We let that reverb just kind of, or that delay, we just let that tail go, and that's a real fun way to change from part to part. So I'll do it again here. We'll go into the next part. So I'm going to do that with the clap here. Now we'll go to the next part. Turn this delay down on the hi-hat channel a little bit, since now we're going to 16th notes. And now we'll just rock out the Chimera a little bit. Oh man, I love doing that. It's so much fun. All right, now we'll turn up this delay on the bass line. And we'll use our drop technique. So we'll take out the kick drum and add this little bit of delay on the clap as well. Create ourselves a nice big swell. Turn up that hi-hat because we're going back into here. And then when we're ready, we'll just drop it in. Now we'll do this Protostar trick. And there you have it. So basically, using auxiliary sends is a super helpful thing to just create more variety to your music without really having to do much in the terms of the composition. So you don't really have to add any more instruments or anything like that. You can get a lot out of reverb and delay. And then, yeah, just using the Protostar as an envelope follower just gave us a little bit more texture, which is a super fun time. So I hope this gave you a little bit of inspiration to take some of these techniques and throw them into your own music, whether or not it's the transition piece, the hi-hat piece, or the filter piece. All of it's a really good time. And yeah, as always, just experiment and have fun. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see, any modules, any demos like that, you know, hit us up in the comments, DMs, or send me an email. And please like and subscribe our channels. We're very thankful for all of you for watching these videos. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.